Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. I'm just going to do your handover video on your Toyota Alphard. So it's a hybrid, 2.4 petrol hybrid. And so I think we'll start under the bonnet here. And by the way, I am just getting over a cold, so sorry if my voice sounds a bit funny, but not much I can do about it. Right, so top corner up here, the top of the engine here, is your brake fluid, which is attached to the this is the ABS pump down here, but yeah, that's what that is just there. It is attached through the back just there to the cylinders. There you go. The engine oil filling point is just down there, and the engine oil dipstick is this yellow topped one just down here. You've then got another dipstick just over here to the right, which is your automatic transmission fluid. The air filter sits inside this box just here at the top of the engine. Washer fluid goes in through this cap just over here on the left. The engine coolant, you have got a couple of little reservoirs. So you've got the main reservoir, which is this one just here, which is like an overflow kind of thing. And you've then got the expansion, well, this is an expansion tank, but you've got the actual main sort of radiator points just here. So it does say they're never open when hot, which is very important. But basically this is the actual main radiator filling points, and this is just your expansion tank just here. So this is the one that you need to check the level on, basically. You then got, because it's the hybrid, you've got the hybrid system just here. Power steering fluid sits in this little reservoir just here underneath that cover, and then you've just got various fuses and relays. I will just point out as well, I'll get that off, if you want to jump start the van, so you've basically got the way it works is it's quite simple really, but you've got the engine battery, which sits just underneath behind this cover just here. The main starter battery is that one just under there, and if that goes flat, then you basically lost power to everything, so it won't start. Even if the hybrid battery is okay, if that starter battery isn't all right, it will not go. So if you ever need to jump start the vehicle, you've got under this little cover here a positive terminal just here for the engine battery, and then you can essentially just find an earth wherever you can find an earth. So a decent earth, I mean, there's a earth point over there. There's probably a specific place that they give you for earthing that, but yeah, not sure. Somewhere, you know, just like a decent earth somewhere. This over here, top of the engine block, will be okay, but I would probably aim for this way over here somewhere for that. But essentially you've got your positive terminal just here under this little cover, which, as I just showed you, is just behind this little bit in here. So if you wanted to jump start it, you can go there rather than taking the plastic out there and get into the actual battery. You can jump start it from just there under the bonnet. I will also point out, I mean, obviously don't go digging around under the bonnet anyway if you can, but any of the orange wires that you see, any orange cabling, is all high power, high voltage hybrid battery stuff. So try your very, 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 very best not to go near any of that if possible, because, you know, it's very, very high power stuff. You know, it's one thing touching some 12-volt cables, but that stuff, you know, it's a lot different. So yeah, I think that's about it for under the bonnet. You've obviously got your air conditioning as well, so you've got the one of the valves just here. There will be another one tucked up somewhere else, I should think. Where that is, I don't know. But yeah, that's the main bits and pieces under the bonnet there. Inside the passenger door, there's not very often much to show inside the passenger doors, but because this is a nice import Toyota, you do get lots of nice you know, little things like that. I've always liked that sort of stuff. Lots of storage in the dash there. You've got all of your sort of cup holders, center section there, and obviously these bits in here as well. all there, all working as it should. I will also say that in case you're ever wondering in the future why there isn't any storage underneath this seat, it's because the main sort of hybrid battery itself sits under here, or at least a lot of the gubbins for it do. So, you know, if you ever need to get, if you wondered why there isn't any space or why there's a little vent just there, that's why. I did also just notice you've got absolutely stacks of paperwork for the actual vehicle as well. Of course, a lot of it is in Japanese, but you know, it's always still handy to have all the paperwork for it with it. You've got just here the chassis number, the engine code 2AZFXE. So if you ever needed any, you know, parts or anything like that and they couldn't get hold of them, that is all the stuff you need. You've also got the paint color, axle codes, all that sort of stuff. So all of your sort of details for the vehicle just in there. I'll show you on the inside in just a minute. We'll carry on around the outside first. Right, if I just pull this door to a little bit. So you've got the electric doors. Just literally pull the handle just the once and it will close itself completely up. So your fuel filling point, you've got a point on the dash. If I just show you that. So on the driver's side, you've got two little pulleys down here. This one here is for the bonnet, and this one is for the fuel filling point. So if I just show you that. So that's popped open and gives you access to the petrol filler cap just there. At the back, you have got some storage. I will run through this in more detail when we actually get into the inside part of the van. But you've got some electrical bits and pieces in there, but as I said, I'll run you through that in a minute. The electric hookup point is just here, so you can still open that up even with the door open like that. So if you want your hookup plugged in so you can use any 240 volt appliances, that's where it goes in there. With the offside door open, you do have access to the freshwater tank and the wastewater tank there, and the gas locker just here as well, which is a proper metal lined locker, so that it meets the regulations. So the cab itself, as I said, I've always loved Toyota personally, you know, because of all these sort of extras that you get from standard, especially these imports. Lots of nice little bits and pieces, cool bits and bobs. So you've got the skylight up there. So it's an automatic. I'm assuming that the automatics on these will be quite straightforward to most people. I mean, it's just literally a case of if you stop, pop it up into park. You have got the handbrake is what you call a foot brake on one of these. So if I just show you that, if I want to release the handbrake, push in and let it come out. That is now released, and I can set it just like that. Easy as that, nothing to it. Underneath the steering wheel, you've got lane assist. You can turn the power to the power doors on and off. You've got a USB socket just there. Steering wheel functionalities for the radio. You've got cruise control from this little stalk just here. Bear in mind that the indicators are on the right hand side, washers and wipers are on the left. That's the same with pretty much all import Japanese vehicles. So it does take a little bit of getting used to, but I've always personally quite liked having the indicators on the right hand side, to be fair. You don't have to worry about this. This is another thing that would have been for Japan, basically. This is a toll collection system, so that'll be sort of connected up to Japanese stuff, so just ignore that as best you can. So you've got fog lamp, which would have been fitted aftermarket for the British roads. You can use these buttons just here to open up the side doors if you want to. You have to press and hold on those. You've got room lights, so if I press that on and off, in real life that's not actually flashing, it just looks like it on the video because of the frames, but there you go. Right, so that is what that is. You've then got your electric adjusting mirrors, so you can bring the mirrors in and out and then select which mirror you want to move and move it around with this little sort of dial here. To be honest though, you know, you're just going to find more and more things in a vehicle like this. It's just unlimited amount of extras and bits and bobs that you'll find. So a lot of it is just a case of having to play with everything, really. So the gas locker, very, very simple. You've got a camping gas, I think this is a 907 bottle if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 907. So this is the biggest camping gas one that you'll fit in here. So to turn the bottle on, we go anti-clockwise around to the left. That turns the bottle on. Clockwise around to the right, turns the bottle off. So make sure that you turn the gas bottle off before you start driving. So I'm just going to turn it off for now because I don't need to have it on. And then you need to make sure that the cover is on as well. So with one hand it's a little bit difficult, but as long as you get that bottom part over there, you can then put it on just like that. You do have easier access to this from the inside, but if you want to get to this from the outside, you can do from there. Right, so I'll just show you the inside bits now. So on the inside, it's a pretty simple conversion, to be fair, but all nicely done. So you've got up here a switch on the left hand side which says car and van. So we want to go down to van, which will then give us power coming from the leisure battery, which is always what we want. If we have it up on car, essentially what will happen is any power that we draw through it will be coming directly from the car battery, which we do not want. So you've then got pump, lights and aux. So basically when you come into the vehicle, if you want to use anything at all, just turn them all on essentially. The pump, because it's a submersible pump, doesn't actually start running or anything until you actually pull the tap. So if I show you that now, because I've got the switch switched on over there, I can come to this sink here. So you can hear that the pump is only physically turning on when I'm lifting the tap up. So it's just, you know, having that pump switched on over there, it just basically allows you to use the pump. It doesn't actually start the pump running. We've got a switch just here on this little column to turn these LED lights on and off. Access to the fresh and waste tanks are just in this cupboard just here. The pump itself, as I said, is a submersible pump, and it actually sits inside the tank just there. And the waste tank is quite simple, just, you know, waste drain off going into the tank there. 12 volt fridge. Just show you. So the 12 volt fridge is pretty simple. You just turn it on from the dial just there, and it will start cooling down basically. As long as you've got this light on in here, it means it is working and it is got, you know, has got power going to it. Virtua Frigo fridge, standard little 12 volt fridge, to be honest with you. This will work all the time that you're driving as well. If you decide to leave it on whilst you're driving, it will continue to work. So there you go. Doesn't get much simpler than that. So the hob here, you've got a piezo igniter. So piezo ignition is manual ignition basically. So when you press the button down, the little spark jumps from here, arcs across to the burner. So it is happening every time, but same again, like the lights flickering just there, you can't actually see it every time because of the frames. But anyway, as I said, in real life you'll see that it's working every time. But assuming that you've got the gas switched on, all you have to do to light this up, push in and round to the left on whichever one you want to use, whilst pressing down on this ignition here, and it will light up just like any other hob would. The only other thing I will say is make sure to leave this, or leave these burners to cool down before you put the lid down, because if there's cold air on the top and hot air coming up from underneath, this glass will shatter. It is properly sort of tempered glass, but you know, it is just glass at the end of the day. It will shatter if it's too hot underneath. So the bed itself makes up pretty easily. You've just got the handle at the front just there, which you pull to one side, and that allows the entire bed to just lay flat basically. You will have to take this table out of the way in order to do that, but you know, it's once you've done that, it's really straightforward. Loads of storage down there. To be fair, for an Alphard and a small vehicle, that is actually a lot of storage. So I'm going to turn these bits off now. You've got a USB socket in there and a 12-volt socket next door to it. Turn that back to the off in the middle, and that basically now means that no power is going to be being drawn from the leisure battery or the vehicle battery at all. The two sockets down there are both 240-volt sockets, so they will not work unless the hookup cable is plugged in. And then if I just show you these bits, like I was saying. So in the back of this cupboard, we've got a couple of bits. So on the left hand side, this is your battery charger. So as soon as you plug the hookup into the vehicle, so as soon as you plug the cable into here, this battery charger should come to life and start charging up the leisure battery. You then got your 240-volt trip switches over here, which, you know, it's just a case of if you don't have any power coming into the vehicle, if it's not working, have a little look at those, make sure they're all in the up position. And that's it for there. The only other thing to show you is at the back just here, you've got your leisure battery. So the leisure battery really nicely sort of cleanly fitted in here. It doesn't get in the way of the bed at all, so when you're using that, you don't have to worry about that getting in the way. And the last thing I'll show you is this little bit just here. So this is a split charger. So essentially what a split charger does is it takes some power from the engine, and so in the same way that the engine gets its charge from the alternator to the engine battery, your leisure battery also takes a bit of charge from there and gets charged up as you drive. So anytime that your engine's running, your leisure battery is being charged up as well. Right, so I think I've pretty much covered everything there. If there is anything you think I've missed out or anything you'd like going over again, just let us know. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.